Thank you, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde et joyeuse Pâques. Happy Easter for everyone who's celebrating. I'm going to begin by acknowledging that we're in the unceded traditional territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin and the people of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation. We recognize all Indigenous people in the region, and we acknowledge the traditional knowledge keepers, both young and old. And we honor their courageous leaders, past, present, and future. I'm going to say what an enormous pleasure it is to be here in Nepean. I've been all around the National Capital Region. I'm delighted that so many of the candidates are here, that I've been knocking on doors around the region, but I've tried to spend as much of my time here in Nepean as possible. We have an amazing bunch of volunteers everywhere, but the ones in Nepean are close to my heart. I thank Hillary, who's run the campaign. I'm not going to mention everyone else, but you know, if you're here, you know who you are. I've been in sun and rain and snow and everything with you. So I'm really delighted to be here, and I'm really delighted that my husband is here, but will come later. Anyway, my job today is to tell you a little bit more about someone that I obviously know fairly well. You guys are getting to know over the past few weeks. And I'm going to tell you a few things about him. First of all, my husband, your Prime Minister. He's undaunted by the kinds of challenges that would fell most of us. And that's really critical now. But I do want you to know, lest you think he's invincible, that he struggles just as much as the rest of us with how to figure out the air fryer or keep his inbox clean or things like that. So not everything, but when it comes to the big issues, he's pretty invincible. Secondly, I want to tell you that Mark is loyal. He's still in touch with his grade school friends. He still clings on to some of his spiral notebooks from when he was in grade school. He talks about his first and only family dog from back in Edmonton. And he still holds on to those old goalie skates from the 80s, which some of you may have seen in the Oilers skate video. So if you saw him in the debates, you'll know that he's also calm and resolute. He's pretty much unflappable when it comes to big and important issues. And he takes everything in his stride. He always puts in the prep work necessary to be at his best, even when he's tired, which he is a little tired now, but even when he's tired or sick. And in the 30 years we've been married, there's not a day he's taken off work for sickness. So so I think you know that rising to the challenge is one of Mark's defining features, and his cool and calm demeanor under pressure makes him really suited to this moment of great uncertainty that we face. I saw it in the UK when, in the Brexit referendum, when he had done the work necessary and was addressing the nation on the day after. He knew what had to be done when it seemed like no one else did. He is also someone who inspires confidence. And you might say that he's a natural leader, but I think his secret is that he's a constant learner. He has immensely strongly held values. He's a committed listener, and he's amazingly good at seeing the wood from the trees. So he's dedicated, in short, to doing the very best job that he can in every situation for all of us. As his partner of more than 30 years, I'm so proud of him. As a Canadian, I'm so thankful that the man that I love has such deep commitment to public service into this country. I'm lucky to have him. We're lucky to have him. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce my husband, the Liberal leader, Prime Minister, and your Liberal candidate for Nepean, Mark Carney.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Diana, for that introduction. And not just for that, because while I've been out campaigning across the country, you've been out here knocking on doors in Nepean, putting signs in the ice, campaigning with those great Ottawa-area candidates, representing this campaign locally with the same commitment and compassion that you bring to everything you do. Thank you, Diana. It is, what a day, to be back in Nepean on this day when we celebrate with renewed hope for eternal glory. And of course, I'm speaking about the Senators being in the, back from the dead. Although this is a national campaign, so I like Toronto too. But I'm sorry. I don't want to be accused of saying different things in different places, but go Sens, go. Canada strong together, that's right. As long as the Canadian team wins. Look, I want to thank the Lusitania Portuguese Club of Ottawa for giving us their parking lot and their support. I look forward to hopefully working with you as Nepean's Member of Parliament. Now I have a question. Who's ready? Who is ready? Who's ready to stand up for Canada with me? Qui est prêt? Hey, qui est prêt? I love you too. That's why I'm here. Who's ready to help the Liberal Party win the most consequential election of our lifetimes? You know, this is the most consequential vote of our lifetimes because President Trump has ignited a trade war that is ruptured. No, we don't like Trump here. ruptured the global economy, and changed forever our relationship with the United States. That old relationship is over, unfortunately. It never 51, never 51. It is a tragedy. It is a tragedy, but it's the new reality. And we're responding. We are responding with purpose and with force. On se bat, on protéger et on bâtir. We are fighting back with tariffs of our own that are causing maximum damage in the United States with minimum impact here. We are protecting our workers by taking all the dollars. Steve McKinnon is counting all the dollars from those tariffs. And he's making sure that they are going to the workers and the businesses most affected by Trump's unjustified trade war. And above all, we are building Canada strong. We are building Canada strong. Now, that's going to take some big changes. That's going to take some big changes to do. And I'm ready. I'm a pragmatist. I'm not a career politician. I'm trying to become a politician, not for a career. Just to be clear. But as a pragmatist, when I see something that's not working, I change it. So, when I became Prime Minister, we see that homes are too expensive. We know homes are too expensive here in Nepean. So we immediately cut taxes on them. We saw that there was a capital gains tax hike that was stifling the builders and innovators that we need for this country to move forward. So we reversed it. We knew that the carbon tax had become too divisive. So we got rid of it on day one. Nous avons élargi l'accès au régime de soins dentaires pour que 5 millions de Canadiens de plus puissent en bénéficier. Merci. De rien. De rien. Il y a de plus. Nous avons renforcé nos relations avec l'Union européenne pour que nos exportateurs soient moins dépendants aux États-Unis. Une bonne idée, c'est nécessaire. Nous avons conclu une entente militaire importante avec l'Australie et renforcé notre coopération militaire avec la France et le Royaume-Uni. I thought it was a good idea. Some counseled against this, but I thought it was a good idea in my first week as Prime Minister to bring together all the premiers of the provinces and the territories to get an agreement so that people and goods can move freely across this country for the first time in our history. And they agreed. And I thought afterwards, when's the last time they agreed about anything? Except that they hate the federal government. It's fine. Our government will do our part for free trade in Canada. We will legislate the removal of all federal restrictions by July 1st, free trade in Canada by Canada. So with this group, within 9 days, we did more than Pierre Poilievre has imagined in his many decades in politics. If he, yeah, go Bruce. Bruce has an imagination. That's right, Poilievre. We just need to remove him. There's no violence. We just remove him. He's had his time. He's got his pension. He only wanted to serve 2 terms, I think, Yeah. He's done that a few times over. Yeah, I think it's okay. You know, we began the election campaign after that, and we went straight to what this country needs. Day one, we announced a middle-class tax cut that can deliver up to $825 for your family per year. We went to Halifax the next day and released the most ambitious plan for the Canadian Armed Forces in our history. Because we need to keep our country safe. In Windsor, we knew what was coming from Trump. So we unveiled an auto strategy for a made-in-Canada auto sector and protected our workers. In Montreal, we announced investments in entirely new trade corridors and ports so we can diversify our trade away from the United States to reliable trading partners. We went to Vaughan and announced a new strategy for home building to double the pace of home building to 500,000 a year. And in the process, you know what? And we don't want to just do that. We have to do that. But we're going to do it in a smart way. We're going to do it in a smart way that builds an entirely new industry with Canadian technology, Canadian mass timber, Canadian skilled labor. In Victoria, we announced the biggest strategy to protect our nature, our land, our water, our biodiversity. And then the next day in Calgary, for your future, that's right, we're protecting it for your future. That's our responsibility. And then in Calgary, we laid out the plan to make Canada an energy superpower in clean and conventional energy. And with Bill Blair and Natalie Provost in Brampton, we announced what we're going to do to stop gun violence and to make your communities safer. We've done a lot. This is 1 month. I am describing the highlights from 1 month. Just imagine what the Liberal Party could do with a strong mandate back in Ottawa. We need that strong mandate because, let's face it, President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never happen. I can tell this crowd alone will stop that from happening. Or we've got reinforcements across the country. We got reinforcements across the country. You know, elbows up, that's right. There should be no doubt. Look, it has taken some time, but I think we are over now the shock of the betrayal. And it is a betrayal. But we should never, never forget the lessons. We have to look out for ourselves. And we have to take care of each other. We didn't ask for this fight. We didn't ask for this fight. But, yeah, exactly. But Canadians are always ready when someone drops the gloves. And in a trade war, just like in hockey, we will win. You know, I, like many of you, and God, I mean, we're in Hockey Central here, Nepean Raiders. I mean, we're in Hockey Central, let's face it. Hockey played a big part of my life. I grew up I grew up in Alberta. I grew up with the values I learned at the kitchen table, in the classroom, and on the ice. My parents were teachers, and they taught me, gotta give it up for teachers. You either are a teacher or you've met a teacher at some point in your life. I think you gotta go. And my parents, they stressed the importance of hard work, and of community, and taking care of each other. My coaches taught me to play hard, to be ambitious, and because it's Canada, to stay humble. These are Nepean values. These are Canadian values. And I kept these values close. I kept these values close when I was fighting crises and building economies around the world, and I'm drawing on them now to stand up to President Trump and to build the strongest economy in the G7, an economy that works for everybody. And, you know, Pierre Poilievre, Bruce is going to take care of him. Bruce, we need Bruce. Mr. Poilievre does not. No pressure, Bruce. He doesn't get any of this because, and I've seen this movie around the world, there is a type of right-wing politician who literally worships at the altar, Timbit Trump, yes, worships at the altar of the free market despite never having actually worked in it. It's the kind of politician who's so sure they've never changed their mind. And because they never change their mind, they can't deliver the type of change we need in this crisis. On va gagner. On va gagner. On va gagner. It's a reflex to cut, to destroy, and to divide. But we need solutions, not slogans. We need calm. We need calm, not chaos. We need action. Action, not anger. Yeah, we need hope and action. Hope and action. You know, this negativity, it's not going to win a trade war. It's not going to bring down the price of groceries. It's not going to pay the rent or the mortgage. Negativity won't make Canada strong. You look at America. Look at America. That kind of politics, that negativity, it is already dividing them and it is making them weaker. We will win. On va gagner. On va gagner if we stay united and strong. You know, Canada, we know this. Canada is not America. America is a melting pot. Canada, look at this crowd. We're all Canadians. We're all distinct. Canada is a mosaic. Canada is a mosaic. In America, healthcare is a big business. In Canada, it is a right. Aux États-Unis, on ne reconnaît pas les différences. On ne reconnaît pas les peuples autochtones. Et il n'y aura jamais de droit pour la langue française. Les États-Unis ne sont pas le Canada. Et le Canada n'en ferait jamais partie, jamais. So, what do we do? Well, that voting for me, I'm going to get to that. There is an ask at the end of this speech, and it's a big one. But you know what? We're in a crisis. Tell you from experience, first thing you do in a crisis is you prepare for the worst, not hope for the best. So we have to take what the president says seriously. The next thing you do is you distinguish between what you can change and what you can't. We can't, I don't think, change President Trump. 78 years in, I don't think we're going to change him. So we need a leader. We need a leader who can stand up to him. Yeah. And that's not... That leader isn't Pierre Poilievre. No. He draws his inspiration from Trump. He mimics Trump. He copies his ideas. His big idea is to bring back plastic straws this week. It's great. We're really looking forward to it. Pierre Poilievre's first instinct, just a few weeks ago, when our nation was attacked, was to call Canada stupid. Wow. I'm not quite there. I'm not quite there yet. But this is a man who chooses. I am confused about something. I asked this question. I didn't get the answer at the debate. I got some deflection. Someone who's willfully blind. He chooses to be willfully blind. At the time the world is more divided and dangerous, he still refuses to get his security clearance. It's 953 days and counting. Pierre Poilievre can't handle the truth, exactly. Can't deal with the truth, yeah. C'est la mauvaise personne au pire moment. Oui. Nous devons comprendre ce que nous pouvons et devons changer. Et nous allons gagner. Nous sommes maîtres chez nous. Oui, nous sommes maîtres chez nous et nous pouvons contrôler notre destin économique. We will control our destiny with the right plan, because in a crisis, plan beats no plan. A plan provides direction when there's a fog of uncertainty. It brings the team together. It drives action. When we're in a situation like this, I can tell you from experience, you need overwhelming force. You need the government to step up and lead when the private sector is retreating under anxiety and uncertainty. And that's what our plan to make Canada strong will do. We will make sure the government spends less so that Canada can invest more. We will build those millions of homes. We will build Canada into an energy superpower. We will build great careers in new industries and trade corridors with reliable partners in every corner of the world except south. We will build one Canadian economy instead of 13. We will create more than $20,000 of value for every single Canadian over the next 5 years. That is the scale. That is the scale of our ambition. Now the Conservative leader doesn't like our plan to stand up to President Trump. Doesn't have his plan. Well, we're waiting. Well, he has a plan. It's to cut taxes and cut regular. That's his plan. He's got one idea. He's had one idea since he was 17. He's sticking to it. Now, President Trump's allies in Canada don't like that plan either. And, let's be charitable. It's Easter Sunday. Let's be charitable. Maybe they believe what they're saying. Perhaps they believe that the way to defend ourselves is to leave every Canadian to fend for themselves. Maybe they believe that we should go along to get along, and that the way to get through this crisis is not to put elbows up, but to put our heads down. No way, Jose. That's right. No way, Jose. That we should give, maybe they believe that we should give the Americans what they want and hope for the best. That's not what's going to make Canada strong. That's not what we believe. The choice in this election could not be clearer. In this crisis, do we want to meekly accept what the Americans want? Or do we want to stand up for ourselves and for each other? We stand up. We know, the Liberal Party knows that we can give ourselves far more than the Americans can ever take away. And we know that as America retreats from the world, Canada will lead it. You know, I am going to finish at some point. It's not yet, though, because I want to reflect back a few weeks ago. I met a teacher from a public school in Georgetown, Ontario. And she told me about a routine assignment she'd given to her students that were 9 and 10 years old. And the kids were asked a simple question, profound question, though, but a simple question. What were their dreams for Canada? And some of the children wrote about a country free from poverty. Yeah. And others dreamt of clean air and water, or a place where everyone enjoyed equal rights, dignity, and respect. These are the dreams we want for each other, right? Yeah. That's what we want. But I was surprised that many of these children, 9 and 10 years old, wrote about tariffs and threats to our sovereignty. And these, I mean, I reflect, I thought, I did not know either word when I was that age. I think the Secretary of Commerce actually just learned some of those words. I'm just saying. Anyways, I'm going to quote one of the letters. I dream of a safe, a kind, and a clean Canada. A Canada that is not the U.S. This is what this election is about. Our children should be able to dream about a positive future, not worry about an economic crisis. And they don't have to worry about an economic crisis because we are going to take care of it. We are going to take care of it. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. And that is why I'm standing before you today. Canada has given me everything. My family, my education, and my values. And in return, I'm ready to give everything for Canada. Now, I did say, remember I said there was going to be an ask? Here's the ask, okay? There are only 8 days left in this campaign. And I know many of you, and I know that many more have already given so much of your time and talent for a better Nepean, a better Ottawa, a better Gatineau, a better Canada. Better Carleton. We can have a much better Carleton. We need a much better Carleton. Like, the Delta is bigger. But to use a hockey analogy, there are 5 minutes left in the third period of Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals. It's time to act like a great son of Nepean. Peter Chiarelli is right over there. It's time to act like Pete and leave everything on the ice. That means we need you to knock on even more doors, to make even more phone calls, to talk to your neighbors, your friends, strangers. Vote. 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 And vote Liberal. Vote Liberal. Don't just vote. Vote Liberal. Already have. Well, well then, we need. I need your help to send me for Nepean and a strongest team of Liberals to Ottawa to fight for Canada, fight for Nepean, fight for a better future. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.